start with our blankets rolled lengthwise. So you want it to be, if you don't have a blanket, use a towel and roll it up the on the short end, roll it down the long way. Does that make sense, kind of? So that you can lay across it. There.
Roll it up the long way.
So we're going to just slide our behind right up against that blanket and roll right down over it, and feel the deliciousness of lying flat on your back. So take a minute to kind of wiggle around and find where that blanket feels most delicious. And then take your shoulder blades and kind of scoop them down your back so that as your chest opens, the shoulder blades roll around that blanket. And then bring those arms out to cactus rather than T, because in cactus, it changes how it opens the pectoralis muscle group, which is the chest muscles. And since we haven't really opened anything else up, let's just bring our feet to standing and draw our knees together and let them fall together. And take a nice deep breath in and let it out with a big sigh. And just notice how you soften around the blanket. And notice where you might be meeting any resistance. And notice if you've done this posture in the last week, how it's maybe different today. And watched a wonderful movie the other day, and in the movie there was one line that really stood out for me, and that no two experiences are ever the same. Even when you repeat an experience, it will be different each time. So find your breath and settle into this experience. And set your intention for tonight. Whatever that intention is, I'm going to set the intention of open hearts, open hips, strong core, strong center. So just gently allow that breath to move in and out. Normal breath. And just notice what your normal breath feels like. And what does normal breath feel like when you come to the end of your day? Or if you're doing this first thing in the morning, what does it feel like? How is it different? How does it feel? And then begin to deepen the breath, inhaling for a count of 4, and then exhaling for a count of 8. So we're going to do a shorter inhale and a longer exhale as this begins to ground us down into our feet. And where you feel your bottom touching the earth, feel that begin to ground down. Kind of the tip of the tailbone, just notice that. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and on your own. One more round. And then begin to go to even breath of 4 counts in, 4 counts out, finding your ujjayi breath. And as we inhale, feel those arms come up overhead. And do it slowly, because since we're on this roll, you might find that the lats will already be a little resistance. And just notice what happens. Be mindful of slowing down. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to your sides, palms facing up. Really roll those shoulders around that blanket and just pause here. So almost as if you're headed into Shavasana, but it's an active Shavasana. Walk those feet together, engaging the core, and lengthen through the right foot. Just lengthen down to the right foot, point the toe. And inhale, flex the toe. And exhale, point the toe. And inhale, flex the toe. And we'll do 2 more of those. Point the toe, follow your breath. Flex the toe. Last one, point the toe. And flex the toe. Walk that foot back into standing. Lengthen through the left leg. Exhale, point the toe. Inhale, flex the toe. Exhale, point the toe. Inhale, flex the toe. 2 more. Excellent. Walk that foot back into standing. Be mindful of your knees. Open your feet into supine cobbler. So our palms are still down low. This is about just feeling the inside of the legs, the groin muscles open. And notice what's happening with the core. Is it laying down on the mat with you? Maybe invite it into your practice. Engage that core slightly. Feel that belly button drop down to the blanket that you're lying on. Lengthen through the crown, growing long, rolling those shoulders back. Full expression of supine goddess supported. Feel that heart begin to open. Feel that breath move in and out. 2 more. Last one. Excellent. Bringing those knees together, rolling off the blanket to the right side. Take a moment, reach behind you. Pull that blanket out over the top so that it's out of your way, so that when we work today, you won't be running into it. Coming back onto the floor, lengthening through that left leg, drawing that right knee in, exhaling, drawing it in. If you have any knee injuries, be mindful here that if you need to, you can always hook your hands behind the thigh rather than pulling down on the lower leg. Do what's right for you and your body. Notice what's happening in the left foot. So we're exhaling and we're drawing that knee in, and we're inhaling, releasing it out. Just a little wind relieving pose, beginning to invite the hamstrings into your practice. And now let's invite that left foot into our practice by engaging the foot so that we're pressing the left leg into the floor. We're engaging our core, flattening our back to the floor, all while we're exhaling, drawing that knee in, inhaling, releasing it out. Exhaling, drawing it in. Inhaling, releasing it out. One more time. But this time, as you draw it in, let's hold the pose, but keep breathing. Taking a hold of it with your left hand, only draw it halfway across your body. Just enough to let the deep rotators of the hip come into your practice. Hello, hips. Smile. Feel this. As you smile, notice how the hips soften. Now notice if you engage your core, draw that belly button down, how the hips let go even a little bit more. Interesting phenomenons. If we're not clenching our jaw, we're not clenching the other end. Releasing it out, taking a hold of that leg with your right hand. Just begin to open it a little bit, giving a little bit of groin action, little space in there. And then straighten that right leg down. Both feet are flexed. Wiggle around so you're flat. Let your hands fall open. Let your feet fall open. Feel the difference. In my body, my right leg feels longer than my left leg because I've opened my back, I've opened my hip. I've allowed an opening to begin to come into the practice. So engaging that core, inhaling, drawing that left knee in. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, release it out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. Now bring that right leg in. Lengthen through that heel of the right leg, engaging that foot, pressing that right leg into the floor, engaging your core, pressing your low back flat because you're drawing your belly button down to the spine, all while you're doing wind relieving pose and breathing. So exhaling, drawing it in, inhaling, drawing it out. Exhaling, drawing it in, inhaling, releasing it out. 2 more. Excellent. Bringing that knee across the body, halfway. Feel those deep hip rotators. My little moon thing might be in the way here. But if you can see right across through here, goes from the greater trochanter of the hip, which is the top of your thigh bone, into that hip joint. This is the part that we really want to be flexible and strong at the same time. It's what supports us as we move forward in life. Excellent. Inhaling, releasing that, taking it the other direction. A little bit of a groin opener. Beautiful. Releasing that leg down, lengthening through, dropping the hands open, releasing the feet, just feeling a small little shavasana here. Drop everything down. Let everything go from the mind, from the body. No holding. Anything you no longer need, let it pour out of the back of your head into the earth. Knowing always that Mother Earth will give you back whatever it is you need in the moment you need it. Beautiful. Bringing those knees in, both knees in, rocking them side to side. Begin to bring those knees into your armpits, heading into happy baby. So since we're a happy baby, let's bring a smile into it. Smiling, breathing. And as you're ready, if you can reach the insoles of your feet, do that. If that's unavailable to you, see if you can grab your toe. You can grab your big toe. You can meet the middle of the pad of the big toe with your thumb or your forefinger. Do a little reflexology, stimulating the pituitary gland. If that's unavailable, you can always grab onto your shins and let those knees soften to the floor, smiling, breathing. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Open heart, open hips, open mind, smiling. Allowing this experience to come to you fully whenever it's ready. Softening those knees in, bringing those feet together. Knees together, hooking your hands behind your knees and begin to rock up and back and forth, stimulating that spine in whatever speed feels good to you. Slow, fast. If this doesn't work for you, just find your way into sitting and that'll be fine. We're going to do 3 more of these. So find your breath. As you come up, you exhale out, inhale back, exhale out, Inhale back. Last one. Stay up. Spin around into seated position. And find yourself coming into easy pose. Sometimes it's not so easy pose. Find your sit bones. Drop out of your shoulders. Grow up nice and tall. Take a breath. See what it feels like to just stop and notice what's happening on your back body. The really beautiful thing about spinal rolls is that it will give the adrenal glands and the kidneys a little bit of a massage just to kind of say, hey, we're not finished with today yet. We're still here. Breathing into it. The next inhale, bringing our hands into it, inhaling the hands up nice and tall. Exhaling all the way to the right side, reaching through that left hand. Let that right hand come down. Breathe into it. Smile. Grow long in your crown. If you find your head's tipping forward, your ears are not over your shoulders, pull it back. Engage that cervical spine. Support the neck. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling the other direction. Yes, yummy lateral movements. What's hanging on? I notice that I'm holding on through my hips. What if we let go of the hips? What if we let go of that jaw and smile? Inhaling, coming up. Let's move with it like a tree in the wind. We're going to exhale to the right. And we're going to inhale up. And we're going to exhale to the left. And we're going to inhale up. And we're going to do 3 more of these at your own pace. I'm going to grow quiet. You count them out. This is the last one. So as you finish it on the left side, come back to center. Let those hands come down to the side, making the peace sign with your hands and putting your pointer finger, your middle finger into the earth, dropping your shoulders down and just feeling yourself drop into the earth. This is a mudra that connects you down, rooting you down, down, down into the earth, feeling your body connect into Mother Earth. A lot of times when I've had a real heady day, I will do this posture, even standing, even if you don't touch the floor. And if something's kind of got you up in your head and you need to ground down, make your peace sign, point them towards the earth, and let anything, as if it's a magic wand, that pointer finger, that middle finger, you're letting everything you need to connect to the earth go down, 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 down. Feeling it root all the way to the center of the earth, as if it's the magic golden cord circling around the center of the earth, anchoring you down good and holding you safe. On the next inhale, releasing that mudra, shake your hands out, forefinger and thumb finger turning up, palms up to receiving. This is the holding in the ego. First finger is ego, holding it in, open to receiving. Inhaling long through the crown. Exhaling, turning that chin to the right. So we're going to start with the twist of only the neck. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling center. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling to the center. This time we're going to hold it. We're going to exhale to the right and hold it. Let's have 3 long breaths here. Nice long Ujjayi breath. See if on the exhale you can deepen it. Each exhale. On the next inhale, draw it to the center. Notice, pause here. Notice what it feels like. Tip that chin on the exhale down to the center. No rolling into it with your back, only the neck. Inhaling, drawing up. Exhaling, looking over that left shoulder. Holding here, 3 breaths. Find it, connecting with Ujjayi. If that monkey's trying to jump in and narrate it for you, thank the monkey. We love the monkey and mind the breath. Tell him to watch your breath. And on the next inhale, on the exhale, we're going to come back to center, dropping that chin down the center, noticing if that's different down your back of your neck. Did it balance it out? Just notice, inhaling up. This time traveling with it, inhaling, exhaling to the left. I'm sorry, the right. Inhaling to the center, exhaling to the other side. Inhaling to the center, exhaling to the other side. Inhaling to the center, exhaling. Inhaling to the center, exhaling chin to chest. Inhaling, growing long in the crown, release the mudra, shake the hands out. Bringing the hands back down beside you, inhaling, hands up overhead. We're going to bring the rest of the twist into it. Exhaling all the way to the right. So pause here, find your breath, find that Ujjayi breath. Look over your shoulder, let the neck go into this as well. Engage that core, engage that pelvic floor. Look over, breathe. Everybody quit breathing at the same time. So invite that Ujjayi breath back in. Drop out of your shoulders. Smile. And inhaling, coming back up. Exhaling, twisting the other way. All the way into it. Notice the difference in your twist. Do you go farther on the right side or the left side? Just notice. Generally, we have one side that is not quite as flexible as the other side. That's okay. Just invite it to do its very best. Bringing in that core. Bringing the belly button back to the spine. Smiling. Inhaling, drawing up. Let's travel with it. Exhaling. Twisting to the right. Inhaling up. Exhaling, twisting to the left. We're going to do 3 more. You guys do it at your own pace. Whatever your pace normally is, slow it down. I lost count, so we're going to go one more time. I'm just loving this so much. Inhale into it. Exhale. Go each direction one more time. And then as you finish, come to the center, resting into it, but growing long in the crown. Play with that a little bit. See what it feels like to hold yourself in easy pose without adding any extra holding. Hands can land wherever they feel comfortable. You can have them palms down, palms up, it doesn't matter. Just notice what it feels like to completely let go. Notice if you're holding anything in your legs. Any unnecessary holding in the hips. Smile. Any unnecessary holding in the shoulders. What about the scalp? We don't often pay much attention to our scalp. That's where we do hold an enormous amount of tension. See if you can imagine your hair softening. Excellent. Softening your gaze, coming back into the room. We're going to move into tabletop, but we're not going to stay there. We're just going to build our tabletop up, and then we're going to go into downward facing dog. So fingers spread wide, knees underneath you. Engage that belly button to take out the drop in your spine, making a flat back, going long in your crown, long in your tail. Inhaling, curling the toes under, and exhaling all the way back into downward facing dog with soft knees. So soft knees because this is our first one for today. So let the knees really soften. Let your chest really go onto the top of your thighs. Feel what it feels like to let that heart travel to your knees. And then inhaling up onto your toes and exhaling into the right foot. All the way into the right foot. Do it gently. This is the first one. So if there's some resistance in the body, honor it, work into it, smile, breathe. Let it be your experience. Inhaling up on the toes and then exhaling into the left one, the left heel. Inhaling up, exhaling, walk the dog. So we're going to exhale into the heel, inhale up, exhale into the heel, inhale up, exhale into the heel, inhale up, exhale into the left heel, inhale up, exhale into both heels. Let's find our breath. Let those heels work to the floor. Let the lift happen in the tail. So energetically, it's as if your sit bones are opening and your knees are spinning towards your little toes. So you've got this beautiful, strong leg happening on either side of your pelvis. Breathe into it. 2 more breaths. Draw your heels together on the last breath. Open the knees and lower down into child's pose. We're going to honor the arms because if they're talking to you, then you always want to give them permission to step out of the posture that you're in. So if you're doing downward facing dog and we're holding it a long time and your shoulders are like, no way am I doing this, listen, no forcing, only allowing. Kripalu yoga is really the yoga of compassion. So this is about compassion for yourself. Turning in and honoring what your own self needs. It's not about what everybody needs from you. It's about what you need from you. And then honoring it, listening, following through. Inhaling, rising back up, coming back into tabletop, curling the toes under, exhaling back into downward facing dog. Find your full expression of dog. Whatever that looks like in your body. Connect in with your breath. Inhaling, lifting up on the toes. Exhaling into that right foot. Lifting that left foot up high. 3-legged dog. Feel it. Point and flex the toe. Bring the whole leg into it. Notice how if you do some circles, it changes what's happening in the hip and the knees. Notice if you're squared off, or if you're spinning out of it because it's easier to hold it because you're lifting up and losing your balance in the hips. Now, point the toe, lift up higher and spin out of it and do a little bit of a lower back twist here. Bending that knee a little bit, giving yourself the space to open up through the psoas. Finding your breath, breathing into it. Lengthening out, squaring up the hips, pointing the leg, nice strong core, and reaching it all the way up in front of you into high lunge. If you have to come down, it's okay. That takes a lot of core strength. My core is still getting strong. So now, high lunge or low lunge, work where it feels good to you. If you want blocks at this point, you can put a block on either side of you, regardless of whether you're in high lunge or low lunge. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. Do your best. Sinking down into this, be mindful of knees. We're going to sink forward and then down, pressing down through the hips, square them off. So a little bit of a pull forward in the right hip, a little bit of a pull back in the left hip, and sink straight down. Opening it up. Finding your breath. Excellent work. Inhaling, stepping that back foot in about, a step or so. So if you're in low lunge, come on up into standing angle. Breathing into it. Begin to straighten that front leg the best you can. Now, the floor might be a long way away, and if that's the case, you can always put your hands on your shin if you don't have blocks. Okay? And keep working down, 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 down. Nose to your knee, breathing into it. Slight tuck in the chin to open that back of the neck, lengthening down through the crown, breathing into it. How are we doing? Excellent. Hands back down on the floor, sinking forward just a little bit, and then back. Forward and back. Okay, knees always traveling to the little toe because we want to protect the knee joint. And back. So these are little movements. This is opening the hamstring, but it's strengthening the quad muscles. There's 4 major muscles in the quadricep group. One of the ones that gets the weakest is called the vastus medialis. It's the muscle in the middle part of the thigh, and that's the stabilizer for our knee joint. Excellent. So on the next bending forward, we're going to keep that knee soft. And on the next inhale, step that right foot up to meet it. Woo! Hello, everybody. Can you feel your quads? So we're going to inhale, exhale, drop out of your head. Let it hang down. And then on the next, make sure your toes are even because my right foot was a little behind. And I'm having a cramp, so we honor that and shake it out. And then find your feet hip distance apart, and then drop out of your knees. So, as if you're heading to squat, but you're still bent over so that your chest is laying on your knees. Now, the lift comes from the tail. It's not a straightening of the legs, it's a lifting of the fanny. Lift your tail up, and then drop it down. And then lift it up. And drop it down. And lift it up. And drop it down. And this time, as we lift up, we're going to go into a forward fold, letting go of those hands, hooking your hands on your arms, letting everything hang out, dropping down. 3 more breaths. Excellent. Dropping those hands down, putting them on your shins, inhaling, coming halfway up. Nice long flat back. Lengthen that head out of your shoulders. Exhaling down, inhaling, reverse swan dive all the way up. All the way up. Oh, hands come to the heart. Take a little break. If you're dizzy, open your eyes, look at the floor. A lot of head over, heart over your head. Sometimes that'll make you dizzy and you come back up. It's okay. Just find a spot to look at as you take a break here. We're going to inhale, circling the arms around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Hands on either side, stepping back into downward facing dog. Coming back into dog. Here we are. Find your dog. 4 breaths. Draw your heels together, open those knees, and drop down into child's pose. Take a break. How are you guys doing? Sometimes Wednesday evening gets to be a little tough because I don't know why. It just is. Sink it back. Let that heart really work towards your own self. Coming back within. Imagine, to those of you at home, that I'm coming over, putting my hands in the middle of your back and just walking them on either side of your spine, encouraging that spine to just let go. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Fully drinking in this. Okay? Being mindful that if you have any injuries, that you honor them, that you really pay attention to your body. And that if it's saying, no, no, not now, that you say, okay, what then? And then follow what the body needs. Because the body will always tell you what it needs. The question is, are you listening? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And that's okay. How we learn. Inhaling on the next inhale, we're going to rise back up, coming back into tabletop. Curling the toes under. Exhaling back into downward facing dog. Find your breath. Find your full dog. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart, not wider, not too close. And on the next inhale, lift that right foot up. Square off the hips. So right now we've just got squared hips. Point and flex the toe, breathing into it. Bringing that whole leg in. Notice how when you point and flex the toe, you can feel it clear up to the tail, to the attachment points in the hips. Great. Point that toe, lift it up, spin it open. Be mindful here, do it slowly. Little lower back twist, core is engaged. If your core is not engaged, you will not be able to hold this. So pull up that pelvic floor, drop it over, open up that side body, let go of your neck, find your breath, straighten out that leg, square it off. Inhale, reach it all the way through. Can you do it in one step? Nope. Can you do it in 12? Maybe. Be mindful here what's happening. So I'm going to go low lunge because my knee is saying no. Perfect example of honoring where you are in your body. We're going to sink forward into lunge. So if you're in high lunge, square up those hips. If you're in low lunge, draw that right hip back, left hip forward. Same with high lunge. Really sink into it. Feel the work. Feel the heat building. Open hips, open heart, open mind. Smile. Notice how when we challenge the body, the monkey stills. Breathing into it. 2 more breaths. And then step that back foot in a half a step. Straighten out that front leg. Breathing into it. Feel this open, drop your head. And then begin to move with it. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back. This time as we exhale forward, stay there. Step that foot up to meet the right foot. Wiggle around. You might have some resistance from the muscles. We're asking them to do something different today. If you have to shake it out, wiggle around, stand up, do that, do any of those things. And then exhale, drop all the way out of it. Now, remember, we're going to move with this. So Exhale, drop those knees down. Chest comes all the way onto your knees. Inhale, lifting up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up, but this time tip and let the lift be from the tail. Dropping out of those arms. Shake it out. Hooking your thumbs into your elbows, letting this full thing. Expression of forward fold. Hanging out in forward fold. Nice deep breaths. Inhaling, releasing the arms, letting the hands meet the shins, coming halfway up, flat back. Lengthen out through the crown. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhaling, hands down center line. Engage that core. Woo. Notice what's happening in the body. If you're dizzy, soften your gaze. Find a point to look at. Sometimes mountain pose is balanced. Pick your toes up. All of them, all 10 toes off the floor. See how the foot actually connects to the earth. Feel yourself sink into the earth. Feel the groundedness of mountain pose. Set your pinky toe down. And if all your other toes want to play too, they can go down, but see if you can just do the pinky toe. Now drop out of your shoulders. Now see if you can do the fourth toe. And sometimes it's your imagination. And then the third toe. And your second toe. Big toes up. And now your big toe. Big toes balance. A lot of times when we're in the future, we're balancing on our big toe all the time. That's a lot of work for the big toe. So this is a great exercise to bring us into now, sinking down to all points of the feet, including the toes. Breathing into it. On the next inhale, we're going to inhale, drop our hands down, circle them around all the way up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Bend your knees, stepping back into downward facing dog, all the way back into dog. Find your dog, find 4 breaths. Now, doesn't this dog feel so yummy and delicious? Like ease, dog with ease. 2 more breaths. Draw those heels together, lowering down, coming into child's pose if that's available. If child's pose is not available, you can always do puppy. And puppy is where you don't bend back in your knees. You stay up and you just drop your forehead to the earth. And for people with knee injuries, this is a really great option so that you don't overextend the knee. The other option is bolstering and sinking back. Whatever feels delicious in your body. For those of you at home, you can hear how hard everybody here is working today. So feel free to make as much noise as you need to make. We can't hear you. And it's okay to make the noise. Beautiful, inhaling, rising up, coming back into tabletop. Curling those toes under, exhaling back into downward facing dog. So from this dog, you can jump forward in between your hands, or you can walk, or you can get to standing forward, however feels delicious in your body. So sometimes it's 12 steps, sometimes it's 1. For those of you super flexible, you can jump, drop all the way down into forward fold, hands on your shin, inhaling halfway up, exhaling, dropping down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive all the way up. On this swan dive, engage your core and give just a little bit of a reach back. And then exhaling forward. Hands come together, down center line. Back to standing. I'm going to have everybody turn on the mat so that you're facing the long direction of your mat. Opening the feet wide. Got to do a little bit of wide angle stuff in here. We're going to begin with the right foot. We're going to turn the right foot out. So if you look down, you could draw a line from the heel of your right foot to the arch of your left foot, okay? And if it's not quite there, wiggle around so that it's there. Now, legs are not bent, they're not locked, they're strong. Feel that tailbone slide down to the floor. So it's like your tailbone is pointing at the floor. Pelvic floor is lifting up, belly button's going back. Shoulders are rolled back and down, growing tall in the crown, and then inhaling your hands up to T position. Building it from the ground up. Here we are, smiling. Headed to my favorite posture, hinging at the hips, sliding across the body. Reach for that front wall. Reach for the wall first, and then tip. Right into triangle. So a common mistake made in triangle is this. Okay, so we're not looking for that. We're looking for a hinge in the hip, a slide across the body. You want to open all this up before you tip into it. Everybody else is breathing while we're holding. You don't have to go as far as the floor. It's okay. Breathe into it. Smile. Soften out of your shoulders. If you're clear down at the floor, you're probably leaning forward. So we're going to see if that happens. Right here is where you want to be.
That's the other spot better.
I know, because it was. So we have a tendency to go in life to what's easy, even if it's wrong. So what would it feel like to try something, although uncomfortable, but might be the right decision? We know, our body knows, our soul knows. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, dropping those hands down. Everybody take a break, take a nice deep breath in. Let out a big sigh. A lot of energy moving in class today. Moving at home too. Spinning around. So now you've got the other foot facing the other end of the mat. So strong legs. No bend in the knee. Strong legs. Inhaling your hands up. So let's do a few little checks here. Our thighs are spinning open because we're lifting up through the kneecaps. We're dropping down through that pelvic or through the tailbone as we're drawing slightly up through the pelvic floor. Belly button to the spine. Shoulders are back. Ears are over the shoulders. Drawing up through the crown. Breathing, smiling. So many little things. Those little teeny micro movements are the hardest ones of all. Exhales, hinge at the hips. Reach for that front wall. When you hear a pop, you say yum, and then tip into it. Tip into it. Remember, your tipping may not be very far. You might be up here, and that's okay. As long as you've slid and you've opened all the way up the body. This is such a great lateral opener. And as you open your heart to the sky, it becomes a twist. Breathing into it. So if you're fighting the triangle, it's because you need it. Sometimes if you're looking up, what would it feel like to look straight ahead? If your neck is hurting, what does it feel like to look down at the floor? So let this bottom hand go to the back side of your foot, engage that core, bring that hand all the way over, spin around, and step back into downward facing dog. Oh, you're the big O dog. Draw your heels together. Lower down. Scoop forward. Keep scooping forward. I guess I shouldn't have had you draw your knees together. Straighten those out. And come all the way down onto the floor, turning your head to one side. And then you can let it go with a big sigh. I appreciate the big sighs. Release those hands down beside you. Let everything fall open. Notice where you might have some holding on. If that low back is talking to you, engage your core slightly. Because laying on your belly sometimes will make the low back hurt. And all you gotta do is just lift up through the pelvic floor and it'll ease that pressure. 2 more breaths. This is rest period. All right, bring those hands up in front of you. Lengthen through that left foot, lengthen through that right foot. Engage that pelvic floor, press that pubic bone into the floor. So let's start with Sphinx. So even though your hands are almost under your shoulders, slide them out in front of you as you come up and put your elbows underneath your shoulders. And let this really be about opening the front body, opening the heart. Draw up and long to your crown. Notice if your feet are hip distance apart or spread farther apart. Just notice. Maybe walk them in a half a foot or so. Yes, you.
Walk them in.
Yeah, just walk them in a little bit. There you go. Not close together. Yes, like that. So you want your feet to be hip distance apart, not spread the width of the mat. That changes the posture. You want to engage those inner thighs. We're breathing. We're lengthening through the crown and we're opening our heart. For 3 more breaths. And then exhaling, lowering down. Now, whichever way you had your head before, spin those elbows out and turn your head the opposite direction, letting go of everything. Feel how yummy this feels. It has been known to be a great napping position. So feel yourself drop right into that space of softness, of peace, of no holding. Complete allowing. And then on the next inhale, bring those hands out in front of you. Lengthen through the left foot, lengthen through the right foot. We're going to start with drawing up into Sphinx. And if this feels delicious to you, then give your full expression of Sphinx. And then, easy in the back row over there. If this feels like you're ready to go to the next level, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, engage that core, and deepen into Cobra. Drawing long in the crown, out of the shoulders, breathing into it. You do not have to do Cobra. If it's not there with you today, stay in Sphinx. Two more breaths. And on the next inhale, press all the way back into child's pose. But this time, keep your knees together and roll over your knees. You may not go as deep, that's okay. This is more about opening the back body. I usually look like I'm in puppy because I don't go deep in my knees, but that's okay. So from right here, take a nice deep inhale. Walk your hands to the right. Just a little ways, maybe 2 steps. Feel that left side body open. Breathe into it. Walk your hands back to center. And then exhale, walk them to the left. 2 walk. Feel that right lung fill and open. Notice how this really opens all the way from the back of the shoulder to the low back. That's your latissimus dorsi. Everybody wants an anatomy class in yoga. Coming back to center, inhaling, rising up, spinning around. Now, if you want another downward facing dog, feel free. Do what your body's calling you. But we're going to spin around and we're going to roll down on our back. So do this in whatever beautiful manner feels good in your body so that your knees come to on your chest, gently rocking side to side. Knowing that all that hard work has brought you right back to lying on the floor. Oftentimes in our journey through life, we'll be like, I did all that hard work and I'm right back where I started. But are you? What feels different? Rocking those legs side to side. Begin to open the knees. Finding the insole of the big toe or your shin and dropping back into happy baby. Notice how much more ease and flow there is in happy baby. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Flattening through the body. If you're rocking side to side, you need to engage your pelvic floor a little bit so that you flatten your back. Drawing those feet together. Releasing the knees, lengthening through that left foot, keeping the right knee in. Engage that left foot. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, release it out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. One more time. Exhale, draw it in. Hold it in. Hold it right here. Hooking your left hand on the outside of the knee, opening your right arm, spinning that leg all the way across the body. Core is strong, coming into a twist. Deep twist. Now, your choice here if you want to look at your hand or not. Play with that neck a little bit. What feels good? Maybe look to the left and then look to the right and see where does your neck need some space. Where in your body? The neck is a really interesting messenger. It's your fifth chakra. It's the chakra of your voice, but it's also our point of flexibility. Where are we flexible in our life? Where are we not flexible in our life? The neck can be a stiff neck. Are you being rigid in your life? Do you have a catch in your neck? Where are you being caught up in your life? Find that point and just hang out there and breathe into it. Everybody quit breathing. Keep breathing. Notice how when we hold this posture longer than the monkey thinks we ought to, what begins to join in and play with us? Do the shoulders begin to raise up? Or can you soften into them? Two more breaths. And on the next inhale, slowly begin your journey out of this. Very slow. You don't want to do it quickly. You want to make sure your core is engaged. You want to make sure you're well supported as you roll out of this twist and you come back to lying on your back. Knee is still in at the chest. Left foot is still engaged. Take a hold of that knee with your right hand and open it up all the way. Nice, deep open. Wide angle, opening the groin. Breathing into it. Drawing it back to center. Releasing that foot down to the floor. Feel yourself square off on the floor. Sometimes when we do those deep twists, we get all kind of cattywampus on the mat. That's okay. Just readjust. Lengthen through that right foot. Draw the left knee in. Exhaling, drawing it in. Inhaling, releasing it out. Exhaling, drawing it in. Inhaling, releasing it out. One more time. Exhaling, drawing it in. Taking a hold of it with the right hand. Opening the left hand, engaging the core. Drawing it across your body. Noticing that this side might be different. That's okay. Same thing with the neck here. Play with it. Where are you meeting resistance? It may not even be in the neck. It might be somewhere else. Find your breath. Two more breaths. Inhaling, begin to unwind yourself from this twist. Do it slowly. Be mindful. Be mindful of what's happening in your body. Opening that knee to the other direction, counter pose it. Giving that hip a nice full circle. Breathing into it. Bring it back to center. Setting the foot down. Squaring yourself off again. Lengthening through the left foot. Lengthening through the right foot. Hands overhead. Point the toes. Point the fingers. Give a nice long inhale and stretch. Exhale it out. So because we did those beautiful back bends, if you want to do a bridge, now would be the time to do it, but do not feel like you have to. We've done back bends. So find yourself dropping in, asking your body, what else do I need? What's left? Do I need a shoulder stand? If you do, do it. If you need legs up the wall, do that. Sometimes inquiry is the greatest way to find out what you need. Ask, what do I need? So the interesting thing about Kripalu Yoga is really about compassion and inquiry. And in your inquiry, being compassionate with yourself, with the journey. What else do you need? And if you're ready to find your way into Shavasana, head there. If it feels delicious to have your feet in standing with your knees dropping together, be there. Allow yourself to drop away, honoring where you are today. There is no judgment, there is no matter, there is only showing up. You've all shown up today, thank you. Softening into that space of not here, not there. Dropping away. Shavasana is actually the most important posture of the entire practice because it allows us to integrate what we've done to create the path for what we're going to do, where we're going, who we are going to be, allowing our memory to come back. Remember who we are. begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling your fingers, like wiggling your toes. Inviting the body to come back to now. And as you find your way back into seated pose, I want to do one more breath, a balancing breath. We didn't use any standing balance because we really worked the legs today. So as you find yourself back in easy pose, taking your right hand and having your thumb and your pinky out, we're going to do alternating nostril breath. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, block off the right nostril with your thumb and breathe out through the left nostril. Block off the left nostril, breathe in through the right nostril. Breathe out through the right nostril. Block off the right nostril, breathe in through the left nostril. Breathe out through the left nostril. Block it off, in through the right. Out through the right. Block it off, in through the left. Out through the left. Block it off. You've got it. Continue on. Three more rounds. This is our last round. So as you inhale and exhale to the right, and if you're not there, do that. And then inhale through the left, hold the inhale. Release the hand and blow it out both nostrils as you bend forward. Inhaling up big through both nostrils. Letting out through the mouth. Hands at your heart. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.